We are live. So, hello all. My name is Pranav Thakker from digital product development company Suflam Technologies. And today we have a very important guest with us, Mr. Inder Singh. He's an CEO of 24 by 7 Geeks Solutions Pvt Ltd. So, Inder's company is providing managed IT infrastructure services. And today we will know further about what is the importance of the IT infrastructure services and what all things gets covered into that. So, welcome Inder.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you, Pranav, for inviting me on your live show. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. So, basically, I first want to know for our viewers that what what exactly the managed IT infrastructure services covers and who needs these services.
Well, so coming to the managed IT services, now let me explain what is managed IT services. So, managed IT services is when you outsource your technical aspects of digital infrastructure to a trusted IT company, which in turns provide technical support at the same time proactively and strategically managing your servers, which in short it's called as a digital infrastructure. Now, coming at your actual question, in which cases does a client may need managed IT support? Now, well, let's consider if you're running an online e-commerce application uh, and you decide to host your website maybe on a dedicated server or a rented server or VPS server from any hosting provider. So what they will do is basically they will offer you two types of servers. One is a managed server and second is an unmanaged server. Now, a managed server, as the term itself says, that it will be managed by the host itself. So what they will be doing is, they will be looking after the troubleshooting aspects on your server, manage the server, provide technical support, monitor your server 24 by 7, and at the same time they are going to patch, apply security updates, etc. So obviously the cost for managing a server is going to be a little bit high. So when you rent a server, a managed server, in short, it's going to be a higher price.
True.
What is unmanaged server? It's basically where the hosting provider will ask you to take care of the technical support. So if you are technically enough to manage your own server, you can always go with an unmanaged server option because it's going to cost you a little less than a managed server,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So now about the use cases. Where are you going to use this managed IT services? Managed IT services. Now, there are various cases where a client may need managed IT services. In fact, what I think is managed service is very important part, and it should be incorporated right from the beginning of your application development stage. Because it's important to choose the right platform considering scaling up or down of your business application in future. Otherwise, what happens, once you launch your application and found that your infrastructure is not able to handle, your server is not able to handle the workload that you put on it, and at the same time, it's not also allowing you to scale up. Uh, okay, so if you want to scale, there will be a downtime, which again, it's not possible. So at times, it's frustrating. Thus, you'll have to look to options to migrate, which again is a painstaking process. Now, today, technology is at a very advanced stage where many clients are not even aware about which technology will be useful or beneficial for their applications. Whether
True.
it will be a dedicated server or a VPS server, a cloud or a hybrid cloud platform. What to use and why to use, they are simply not aware about it. So, in such cases, aligning with an MSP will be a very wise decision because MSP can give you crucial insights in developing and choosing the right components of your digital infrastructure, which ultimately proves to be a right decision in long term.
Right.
Pranav.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you said this correctly that many times. I think there is some echo. Let me check it from my side. Hello. Yeah. So
Yeah.
uh, many times it happens that the startups or the enterprises with whom we work with, they may have a good product idea that what exactly they are looking for, But when it comes for the hosting it on some cloud platform or some third party hosting platform, they are confused and
Yeah,
they need a lot of guidance.
absolutely.
So what
Right.
parameters are there which we needs to consider for selecting any hosting partner or on a cloud partner? What are the parameters which one should consider?
I'll come to that. So now selecting a hosting platform is again a very crucial decision because this is basically setting up the foundation of your digital infrastructure. Now you imagine if you're trying to build a house without an architect, it simply won't work. It
True.
will be a big disaster because architect knows the planning, he knows the inside outside of your house. So you obviously are going to hire an architect to build your house. Similarly, designing planning is required at very initial stages to build your digital infrastructure. With proper strategic consulting, planning, and designing, we can choose the right components required to set up your business.
Okay.
Or you can even scale up and down your infrastructure in terms of capacity planning. The good thing is if you plan properly, you can maintain your operational cost for your infrastructure. And some of the important tips that I would like to consider uh, while selecting your hosting partner is one, understand your target audience and then choose the data center location. Normally, what happens, we are not even aware like which data center to choose. So obviously, you go to the website and start searching a dedicated server. And many US based companies, Canadian based companies, or any other company, they start offering you dedicated server at a cheaper price. But
Right.
you need to understand, is your target audience sitting in US, Canada? If your target audience is in India, then you should go with an Indian data center.
I see.
Second, ensure that whenever selecting a cloud platform, you need to ensure that you can scale up and scale down as per your application needs. Because if you're scaling up, if your business is growing, you definitely need to increase the resources. And at the same time, if you are not scaling, if you're not developing the business, or you're not having that much of workload, then you can always scale it down. So that is something, your infrastructure should be running at a low operational cost. So these are the points that one should consider while selecting a hosting platform.
All right. Okay, great. So along with the IT infrastructure, we cannot ignore the IT security, because
Mhm.
security is inbuilt part of any IT infrastructure which or any application which we are hosting. So
Right.
what are the points which one should ensure to protect their data on these live servers? So what could be those points if you can guide us?
Oh, well, I'll suggest in that case, one, a company should consider having a SOC team. Now, SOC team is basically a relatively new term coming in. It's called as a security operations center. Today it's in IT world. You have a operational team where we have a lot of big screens where you basically monitor the analysis and logs. So having a SOC team is very important because what a SOC team will do is they will maintain high level of IT security. They will be responsible to maintain complete security, logging, auditing, and maintain the required compliances of your digital infrastructure as per the industry standards. Now, when I say compliances, it's very important because consider if you're a fintech application and if you're a fintech business and you have some fintech application with financial transactions on day-to-day basis, then security and auditing your infrastructure is mandatory. So basically, a SOC team will be a one-stop solution for maintaining high level of IT security services.
All right.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So so now let's say if we can see that the cloud is quite penetrated across the globe and most of the applications are getting hosted on a cloud. There are many cloud providers in the market. So according to you, which cloud platforms are more recommended and in which cases and why?
So Pranav, actually, there are many options, cloud options to do. I mean, you
Right.
name it and you have it. The
True.
decision totally depends on you, which platform you want for your business. So in simple terms, if you're running a high traffic business application, you need a scalable solution on a cloud platform. This is undisputed. Like if you have a high traffic application, you cannot run it on a VPS server or you cannot even run on a dedicated server. So definitely you will need a scalable solution on a cloud platform.
Right.
Now, cloud platform, when I say scalable solution, what exactly it means is the platform itself will provide you agility, elasticity, cost savings, and the ability to expand the business footprint and to develop a global reach for your customers. So, in short, when you host your application on a cloud platform, it should be accessible to throughout the globe within fraction of seconds. So there is where you have to use a scalable solution, and cloud is the only solution that offers you that kind of service.
All right.
Now, today, there are companies like Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, VMware, DigitalOcean. So you can decide to run your own cloud, or you can also decide to run your own cloud platform using an open source technologies.
Right.
Now, open source technologies, there are like in the market available is OpenStack is there, CloudStack is there, and there are other as well. I mean, I think there is a application, there is a cloud application called as Softaculous as well, virtualized as well. So,
Right.
but what we will recommend is, since we are partnered with AWS as a consulting partner, we will definitely recommend going with AWS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. So all these efforts of managed IT services, security protections, we are doing for protecting our data. Right. So
Absolutely.
data security and data backup and the recovery is the most important aspect of all these efforts. So what
Right.
tips, we are at the end of our session. So I would like to ask you that what tips you would like to give to our viewers for data safety, particularly in the data backup and the recovery part.
So here it's very important to plan a disaster recovery solutions, because disaster can strike anytime. So you have to be prepared for it. You cannot set that corner a loose end, because you can you just cannot run your application. You just cannot run your business without a backup. So
True.
it's needless to say that a disaster recovery solution is required to have a certain amount of backups restored at a third party location. So, today there are many third party backup solutions available in the market. So you can choose whatever suits you. If it suits your budget, you can have your own, S3 storage. In AWS, we have S3 storage, or even you can consider using Veeam as a backup solution,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay. Great. So, thank you very much for your time, Inder. And to our viewers, we as a Suflam Technologies and Inder's company 24 by 7 Geeks Solution have worked lot together on many projects. And we
Thank
highly
you.
recommend Inder for managed IT services. And
Thank you,
if,
Pranav. Thank you.
welcome, Inder. So, if you have any questions or comments for us, feel free to write in the comment section and we will be happy to answer. Thank you very much. Thank you all.